Chapter 2 Sergey Popov. Sergey fumed when the ringing phone woke him at 3 a.m. He rolled away from the lovely Katina to silence the screaming monster. The banshee only brought him unpleasant news. Nobody ever called to wish you well at the devil's hour. Katina, the tall, curvy beauty with flaming red hair and emerald green eyes. A perfect combination for a woman in Sergey's eyes. At only half his age, she had become his favorite plaything. But even with her beauty, he still roamed around with other women. Why deprive the entire female species from experiencing his pleasure? No woman, including Katina, was that special. A man of pure testosterone, not needing any of those little blue pills. All men inspired to be Sergey. What? He let his anger and authority flow with the single word coming out as a command rather than a question. An alpha male in a world full of betas. Sergey, it's Lieutenant Arnold. There's an issue with one of your crews. You need to come here and see this for yourself. Lieutenant Benjamin Arnold's whiny voice squeaked through his phone. It hurt his ears like nails on a chalkboard. Third in command to the chief in the Rocky Mount Police Department. Arnold, a fat, lazy, and greedy excuse for a man. The perfect combination of traits allowing Sergey to purchase him for next to nothing. Over the years, Sergey had discovered Arnold's worth corresponded to what he had paid for it. Very little. One day, he'd bend the chief. Then he'd dispose of Arnold. Until then, the weasel would have to serve his needs. You're disturbing an evening with the lovely Katina, so this better be important, fatso. Remember who owns you. All those payments are for you to handle this type of shit. All by yourself. Well, there's 4 dead men here. The lone survivor says there's a message for your ears only. Mudak! I'll be there shortly. If I find out that you could have handled this yourself, then you're dead. Keep the stray eyes away from the scene. I don't need to squander money buying more useless cops. Yes, sir. The blowhard continued to talk, but Sergey punched the disconnect button. They sent 5 of his best armed men to take out an unarmed pastor and a woman. How could they have failed at such a simple task? Someone's head would roll because of this mess, and it wouldn't be his. Sergey pushed a button on his phone, speed-dialing the responsible party. Pavel! Get 2 trusted men in the car ready. We've got a problem. Sergey poked the disconnect button before Pavel responded, because he possessed all the power. Pavel, his trusted number 2, knew his place. When Sergey barked a command, Pavel executed it without questions. He wished everyone else in the organization followed his lead. Too many low-life characters inspiring to become the boss these days without earning it. Sergey longed for the early days of his reign when his life had been simpler and his power absolute. Sergey dressed himself in his trademark blue suit and strapped his Glock 20 to his side. He didn't expect trouble in his town, but he never left home without a weapon. When he reached the forecourt outside his 10,000 square foot home, Pavel, 2 large men, and the bulletproof black Escalade were waiting. Sergey deserved to ride in an SUV fit for the President of the United States. Hey, what's up, boss? Pavel smirked, pissed Sergey off. He better watch himself, or Sergey would put a bullet in Pavel's skull. Sergey made him number 2, and he could take it away just the same. No one in his crew better have their sights on taking over, even if Sergey himself had come to power the same way 20 years ago. Kill or be killed. The men that you sent couldn't handle killing the unarmed pastor and his bitch girlfriend. Worst of all, I had to hear about your failure from the cops. His comment wiped the smirk off of Pavel's face and replaced it with a slight tremble to his lips. Most people would have missed the change, but Sergey considered himself a master of reading people. If Pavel was smart, he'd remember his place in the organization and be happy with remaining number 2. A replaceable cog in Sergey's machine. Sorry, sir. We sent our best men. I don't understand.
Yes, that's your problem, Pavel. You don't understand anything. Take us to that bitch's house now. I'll fix your mess. We'll discuss your failure later.
Sergey leaned in, staring Pavel down. The younger man turned away from the fire in Sergey's unblinking eyes, melting into the pavement. Pavel opened the rear passenger side door, staring at something interesting on the ground. Sergey still had it, turning arrogance into obedience. He intimidated his minions and pleased every woman he met. Now to solve this insignificant problem before it got out of hand. They sped across town. The early morning hour made the drive a breeze. A lone Lincoln town car sat out in front, along with Arnold's unmarked Ford Crown Vic. Arnold's vehicle, a complete wreck, like the man who drove it. Yet, having the third highest ranking police officer on the payroll helped the organization, despite the man's stupidity. Sergey expected to find spent brass and other remnants from a firefight. How else could someone have taken down 5 well-armed men? After Pavel opened Sergey's door, his lackeys had to remember his place. Arnold waddled over. The obese cop disgusted Sergey, and he only remained living because he still served a purpose. After he didn't, Sergey would have him killed. Nobody would miss the slob. A waste of oxygen. This is how the uniforms found the car. A neighbor called 911 reporting a shot fired. 4 found dead inside the car, with only the busted up driver still alive.
Wait, shot fired? You mean shots fired? Make sure you get it right for the report. We can't have any blowback because of your stupidity.
No, sir. Shot fired. Only 1 gunshot. Sergey inspected the town car in the glow of the streetlights. He expected the sheet metal to look like Swiss cheese, but found not 1 bullet hole. The car looked pristine, like it had rolled off the factory floor earlier that evening. What the hell happened? Sir, the survivor says he has a message for you. Sergey stormed over to the open driver's side door, leaning inside the vehicle. The man sitting inside had been the strike team's leader, and he suffered from multiple injuries. Both legs splayed at unnatural angles, while his right arm had swollen with an extra bend in it. His breathing wheezed as he sat behind the wheel with closed eyes. A grimace bent his swollen lips. Who could have done this?
Wake up! What happened here?
The team leader blinked multiple times before his eyes appeared to focus on Sergey's face. Sergey took a deep breath, trying to remain patient. When he spoke, Sergey had to lean closer to hear his words. Attacked. He labored to speak the one word as Sergey's blood pressure shot through the roof. The facts were what he needed to know. Sergey wanted to know who deserved to die.
Nobody did this to him and lived. Can you be a little more specific? How many men? What types of weapons did they have? Where did they go?
The man continued to struggle to breathe, and Sergey had to push down the desire to beat the answers out of him. Someone had beaten him to the punch and already punched this man's ticket. If he struck him again, it would kill him, and Sergey needed answers to his questions first. 1 man. He had a stick. Came out of nowhere. Said to leave Kate Stevens alone, or he'd return.
What? 1 man with a stick killed 5 armed men?
4 did. Please help me. Sergey seethed. 1 man with a stick killed a team of 5 hired killers? Someone needed to pay for this debacle. Before anyone could react, Sergey turned and drew Arnold's police-issued gun from his holster inside of his cheap suit jacket. He fired once, hitting the wounded man between the eyes, storming toward the bitch's house. Hey, that's my gun! What are you doing? The fat cop's footfall shuffled behind Sergey as he charged toward the front door. 1 swift kick at the lock set opened the door quicker than a key would have. Voices came from behind him, but the anger blinded and deafened Sergey. Only the death of 1 woman would placate him. Kate was poor, even though she had grown up with money. so it didn't take long for Sergey to search the small house. No one was inside. Rage flooded his being. He needed to kill somebody to relieve the pressure, solve his own problem. Both Pavel and Arnold caught up with him, and he pushed down the desire to put bullet holes in their heads. He stopped himself from committing a triple homicide. He thrust the pistol into the fat cop's huge gut. Burn the house and the car to the ground. Destroy the evidence. Then find the woman or you're both dead. She dies or you both die. Boss, the uniforms were already here and I sent them away. How do I explain the fires and dead bodies?
I pay you plenty, officer, so figure it out. Pavel will assist you, and then you two can find the bitch and end this disaster. Do you understand?
Sergey glared at the two sets of bulging eyes before he stomped back to the beast. He needed to get back to his Katina, exercising his frustrations on her. She loved to take his beating, relieving his stress. These two better not fail him again, or he would go for the trifecta of death.